Hello guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to Blue Point TV where we talk about football and football related stories. Guys, if you're watching the video, follow the channel Blue Point TV on Facebook, like and share the video. And then if you're watching the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel Blue Point TV, like the video. It's really important. Okay guys, let's talk transfer. We'll talk about Chelsea, we'll talk about other clubs as well that are interested in their signings. Now let's start with Chelsea here. Now that this player Chelsea are sending on loan, the young player from the academy. Now there's a report on this one from Fabrizio Romano. He said Crystal Palace are closing in on Lewis Hall loan deal with Chelsea. Talks are at advanced stage, almost agreed. Final detail being discussed. Hall expected to extend his contract at Chelsea before leaving, as reported by. Now, the player will be going on loan to Crystal Palace. Now, I feel like it would be good for him, going to a club that's in the league already, kind of established Premier League club. They have been in the league for a long time now. So, and they have so many young players. And we shouldn't forget that Crystal Palace, it's not the first time they are taking players from Chelsea on loan. Ruben Loftus-Cheek when they're on loan. Conor Gallagher as well when they're on loan. So him going there is good for his development. So yeah, what's your thought? What's your feeling on this one? Right, guys, let's talk about another young player that Chelsea are trying to sign from Santos in Brazil. Now, report from Fabrizio Romano on this one. He said Chelsea remain confident to complete David Washington deal next week. The player wants Chelsea move, and Santos' green light is imminent. More to follow soon for 2005 born talented striker. Now, of course, he's very young. He's a young striker. We also know that Chelsea recently got a player from Santos as well. Gabriel Angelo that they got from Santos. So it's not the first time that Chelsea are doing business with Santos, getting their players. So for me, it's interesting to see how Chelsea are getting so many young talented players. So your thoughts and your opinion on that one. Right, guys, let's talk about Mohamed Kudus. It seems Brighton will sign this player. That's agreement between the two clubs, Brighton and Ajax. You know Mohamed Kudus, the Ghanaian player. That's a report from Fabrizio Romano. Also on this one, he said Brighton and Ajax have an agreement in place for Mohamed Kudus. The deal between clubs is advanced since July. Always been waiting for the player. Fee around 40 million euro, as David Austin reported. It depends on the player now, waiting to agree on a personal terms. Now for me, if Brighton can get this player, it would be an interesting signing for Brighton because I feel like the player is very good. If you watch him for Ajax last season, for me, he was the best player last season for Ajax. He can play in so many positions. He can play as a number 10. He can play as a winger. He can also play as a supporting striker, play as a number 8. So, it would be an interesting signing for Brighton. And I feel like Brighton are making some very good signings as well. So if they can get this one done, it would be good for them. Now, we shouldn't forget there are other big clubs in England, in the Premier League, that are also kind of, watching the player. Chelsea included, they are watching the player. I think Arsenal as well are also watching the player. So it will be interesting to see how this one will go, to see if Brighton will finally get the player since they've already agreed on a deal with Ajax. So your thoughts and your opinion on that one. Right, guys, let's also talk about another player that Chelsea are watching. Possibly we'll see if they will get this player. Now, the midfielder from Leeds United. That's a report on this one from Fabrizio Romano. He said Chelsea made contact with Delo Adams camp to be informed on condition on the deal, exploring cost. He is one of the names being considered as £20 million relegation clause is available. Focus remain on Moises Caicedo. Talks separate deal and separate story. Now, of course, the player is also a defensive midfielder, just like Moises Caicedo. But I don't think, based on the report here, I don't think if Chelsea possibly eventually get this player, I don't think they will move on from Moises Caicedo, I think they will still want to get Caicedo because, based on the report, Caicedo is the priority target for Chelsea. But I feel like they want to get or try to get this player because of his price. £20 million into this market, I don't think it's a huge money to pay. So, and I also believe the player is also a good player, you know. And for me, Chelsea, the team is light in the midfield. So I feel like even if they get Caicedo, I still think they should get another midfielder. So if they can get this player for 20 million, knowing that he has been in the league before, he understands the league, and also he's a good player, you know, for me, it would be interesting. So, yeah, your thought, your opinion on this one. Do you think they should get the player? Do you think the player will be, good addition to the team? What's your thought? What's your feeling on this one? All right, guys, let's also talk about Paris Saint-Germain here now. Of course, Paris Saint-Germain, you know the story, what is happening at Paris Saint-Germain now with Mbappe. Now it seems the club, they are trying to kind of get players, maybe to replace Mbappe. We all know that they have agreed. I mean, they have already signed Dembele from Barcelona. Now I'll report again on this striker from Benfica. Report from Fabrizio Romano here. He said Paris Saint-Germain are closing in on Gonzalo Ramos deal. Agreement very close. Final details being sorted. It could completed this week. 80 million package fee to Benfica. Add-ons included. Ramos agreed contract until June 2028. Here we go. Expected very soon. Now, the player for me is a good striker. If you watch him in the Champions League, because I watched him in the Champions League, for me, you see he scored very important goals for Benfica last season in the Champions League. And as well, if you follow him in the World Cup, I feel like he did well also in the World Cup. So if they can get this one done, it will be a good signing. Now, Paris Saint-Germain, they are going in a different route now. I feel like they want to kind of go for those young, good players, not that already made established players that they normally likes to go for. So I feel like this player, he fall into that bracket of those young, good players that is not that big name players. So if they will get this one done, which I think it will happen, it will be interesting to see how it will go, how this deal will go with Paris Saint-Germain. So what's your thought? What's your opinion? Do you think it will be a good signing for PSG? Your thought and your opinion on this one. Thank you, guys. Please, guys, if you're watching the video, follow the channel, Blue Point TV. Like and share the video. It means a lot in what we are doing. If you're watching it on Facebook, follow the channel. And on YouTube, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Subscribe to the video if you haven't. And then like the video as well. Thank you, guys. And God bless you. While I see you again. Bye. Stay safe.